the why of the change, for instance? Are you talking about the why of the organization? Why are we really here for? What is it that we want to contribute to society? How often do you have genuine conversations like that with others around you? So think also about who do you engage. Is it just other top managers or people in your department or just other experts who are a bit outside of the organization? Or are you truly talking with everyone in the organization in the front line and with your clients? And where is this change taking place? What is the context of it? Do we understand it? And then think about the how. How do we want to approach this? Of course, if you're moving your office from one building to the other, you better take a planned change approach, because otherwise it will be a mess. But if you want a culture change, you want people to behave differently and learn and experiment, you need a change process that is a bit more emergent, bottom-up. And last but not least, then only you think about the what. So what is it that we are really changing here? What is the infrastructure that we need? What are the IT systems, etc., etc.? And quite often, organizations start with that. And then they try to tick all the other boxes. But that's exactly what you end up with the piece of paper that I made, because you get stuck in thinking about the details first and doing the planning, etc., etc., and then the people come last. And we've seen in many researchers that it's not very beneficial for embedding change in organizations. And this is where I would like to end my talk. Thank you very much. And please clean up when leaving the room.
Thank you very much, Ben, for sharing a really interesting exercise, which I hope we can replicate, but also demystifying a bit what we mean by change, which indeed is an ambiguous concept, and many people have different perspectives around change and so forth. And to give us their insights and experience on this topic, I'd like to start with Mr. Kari-Pekka to tell us a bit more. Can you share some of your experiences on how your organization has engaged in change management strategies, and how some of these changes are and what some of the challenges and critical success factors have been in your experience? Mr. Kari-Pekka, please, if you can start.
I'm very pleased to be here and share some ideas and our experiences from Finland. And one thing what I first would like to say that the environment is very different in different parts of the Europe and the world. You can imagine that in Lapland now we have -35 and here is a little bit nicer weather here right now. But it also depends on the organization and organizations, how your behavior and how people behave, what kind of rules we have. But in Finland we have 5.5 million people, and Kela is the key player in social security sector, and we have 8,500 workers in our organization. This is something to give you some kind of rough idea that who we are and what we do, and we are a very old organization. We handle about more than 100 different benefits, and it's complex in many ways, and it's very typical for the politicians that they would like to solve the problems very simple way, but the world and life is very complex, and when you try to put in process those simple ideas, quite often what politicians are, you are middle of the mess. But as our speaker explained it, I totally agree what you said. It's like that. It's like that. But in real life, when you have to handle the process and the change, it's very complex. And you never know that what will be the solution in many ways. And I think that first things what I would say that what we are normally doing is that we are thinking about learning by doing. The idea that you don't exactly know that what is the target, because when you get the target from the politicians, it's very wide or it's very narrow. And then when you start to make the change, they come afterwards and say, no, that's not what we would like to have. And then you are middle of the mess about that. What in hell we should do in this situation. And the first things what we normally do when we start to understand it is that we start to understand and put it focus all the time. Every time we put the focus on the customer-centric way. What are the effects for the customers? Not the benefits, not our organization, but what its benefits for the customers. And we try to keep that through the whole process to understand. And it's what everybody understand also. The politicians understand, our organization understand, and I hope that the leaders and managers understand too. And but when we do that, we have to understand very deep way what the customers think about. And that have been the biggest learning process, at least for our organization in the last 10 years period, that we have to know our customers much, much better than what we used to do. And the idea is that we go. I would put it into 4 points. The first one is the customer-centric operations. That whatever do you, if you discuss about lawyers, if you go to the economists, if you take it about the politicians, the first learning process is that put it every time the process and discussion to the customers. The second one is the problem, the limited understanding of the tailor-made services. Normally, the equality, at least in our scale, on our context, understand that everybody should have the same. And then, but in real life, the people's needs are different. And you have certain tools, you have those more than 100 different I say that you have the tools what are based on legislation, and they are quite strict to say that these are the tools and they are those benefit most of the time. Sometimes they are services. But you have to tailor-made of those tools what you have to make the life for those customers better. And if you don't understand the customer's need, it's very difficult to make the situation based on that idea that what we would really would like to achieve. Then the other thing is that, as mentioned, the politicians would like to have very complex and very detailed benefits. We try to lobby a lot about that we simplify those things, and we would like to put it more possibly to tailor-made those things that they are focusing more to those customers what we have. But how to say, the most important thing what we have done is that we have done a lot of studies, a lot of data, and we have segments for the customers. We have 3 main groups what we have understand. Under those groups we have more the segments to understand, and for those segments we try to create more tailor-made services what they are need. Some of you know probably the 20/80 rule in that way. I put it this way, very simple now. The majority of our customers, about 80%, have very stable life. They don't have big problems, but society gives them some kind of benefits. And all for them, we can automate almost everything. They are digitalized. 80% of our services are digitalized already for the people, and people are using those. Then the other group is 10% in our case, and they have some major change, employment, illness, or similar things, what we expect that it's not continuing. And for them, we also tailor-made different kind of service. And the rest, 10%, The rest 10% in our population are people who need continuous support. And we create own service cycles, the way how we handle the things. And their life is quite complex many ways. When I explaining this to you, it means that we don't have similar services for everybody. We have categorized services, we have tailor-made, and also at the same time we try to make understanding for the politicians and our whole organization that we have different kind of customers and we have to handle the problems different way.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kari-Pekka, for sure. Interesting point. Also from the beginning, you mentioned that sometimes the politicians give a mandate that is a little bit more narrow or very broad, and it's very difficult to understand. And I like what you're talking about keeping the center in the customers themselves, and your strategies around segmenting and understanding which are clearly can be streamlined across and automated versus those who need more and specific support in two more different groups. So fantastic. So maybe I'll turn to Ms. Irtal to give you a chance to give your experiences on how your organization has engaged in change management and some of the critical success factors and experiences. Please go ahead.
طبعا صندوق الحماية الاجتماعية في سلطنة عمان قام بتغيير جذري في الكثير في منظومة الحماية الاجتماعية بالنفس. طبعا التغيير حصل في منظومة الحماية الاجتماعية، ولكن كان التأثير الأكبر في كيفية التعامل مع هذه التغييرات من جانب الموظفين والمؤسسة بشكل عام، حيث قمنا بدمج 11 صندوق تقاعدي في السلطنة ودمج 3 موظفين مؤسسات في الصندوق. طبعا أول خطوة أخذناها وهو مثل ما ذكر الأخ بن عن البحث عن ماذا هو التغيير الذي نحن نبحث عنه، لماذا هذا التغيير. فقمنا بتعريف التغيير وتعريف إدارة التغيير بالنسبة لنا في الصندوق. وكان التعريف هو أننا نبحث عن وضع استراتيجيات ومبادرات للتعامل مع هذه المرحلة الانتقالية والمتغيرات التي ترافقها لخلق بيئة عمل متناغمة تساعد في الوصول للأهداف التي نسعى إليها. طبعا اعتمدنا في هذه الاستراتيجية واستندنا على منهجية آتكر في التغيير، ويعني قمنا ببعض الأهداف الرئيسية أو بعض الخطوات الرئيسية. أولا قمنا برسم توجهات وخطة التغيير حتى نعرف إلى أين نمضي، يعني إعداد المؤسسة للتغيير، تطبيق مبادرات للتغيير، وأيضا جاهزية لمواجهة التحديات التي قد نتفاجأ بها ونحن في مرحلة هذا التغيير، غرس التغيير في ثقافة المؤسسة، وأيضا تقييم وقياس التغيير بطريقة مستمرة. ما لا نقيسه لا يمكن أن نعرف قيمته. طبعا ما هي التحديات التي توقعنا أن نمر بها في هذه المرحلة؟ أولا كان يعني مقاومة التغيير، فكان إحدى مسؤولياتنا هي تخفيف من مقاومة التغيير بشكل